I am so excited today to be interviewing Sandy Rakowitz of One Heart Healing Center. And I think she's one of the leaders right now who can help bring so much inner peace and an opportunity for growth with everything that's happening in the world. So, Sandy, I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thanks, Marisa. It's really lovely to be here, and thank you for inviting me in.
So I want to know, and I've been hearing about it because you've been talking about it quite a lot in the last, I would say, 6 months to a year, more about multi-dimensional coaching. So could you tell us what does that mean?
So, this is really about your connection with your soul and with your connection with the divine and your sense of spirituality. That's the basics of it. It's bringing these aspects of yourself consciously through your heart forward now in your personal life and in your work and with your work, whatever that might look like, whether it's in flux and change, or whether you're up leveling into what is next for you, and you know what that is.
So what I love is that you have been doing this kind of woven in your work for decades.
Yes. Yeah, it's an integral part of how I've worked and what's led me forward, and was initiated really through my animals, uh, both those who have passed over and my horse Ebus, and calling me forward into a deeper level of connection through the spiritual realms, and opening my those abilities to connect and communicate, uh, and bring that information down into the physical realm so that we can take action and be present with that. And as my horse, who's since passed over, says, to literally continue these connections once our animals or our beloveds have passed over, for that amazing range of contact and connection and support and guidance that we need in our lives. And it's when we are not connected that we feel lost, we feel directionless, we don't know what our purpose is, or we can't quite feel on track. And so it's my opening was through the animals, and with many people who work with me, although not everybody has animals. And it's the ability to converse with yourself inside, as well as these spiritual realms. And it's never been more important.
I totally agree. Yeah, especially with what we as humans and animals on the planet are experiencing right now. So when Ebis passed away, it does seem like you had been doing this work in different ways, but it just really exploded for you when he passed away several months ago, last year.
Yeah, it's been, I will say, very interesting, educational, and inspiring, heart opening, and amazing. My path with him, at over the 32 years that I had him, uh, that we were, we were together in this lifetime, journeying in this co-creative, collaborative venture, is just that, that he's been an extraordinary teacher, bringing through many, many wisdoms, uh, that are both very practical. It's, I used to say just practical, but it's, the spiritual is practical.
Mm.
And there's been a separation, that it's one or the other. It's either we're here on this earth or we're very spiritual. And so what he has led me and hundreds of people through thousands of people with is this connection here in the physical, knowing that when someone passes out of their body, that that connection and contact can continue, and that that is part of how we move through grief and grow, and that what we had, what he's been showing me, even more than anyone else that I, you know, with any of my animals, with all of the people in my life, that this contact and this connection can help us grow and expand, and that who they were in their physical body just expands because now they don't have the constraints of that physicality.
Wow.
And so they're more than what they had ever been. Like it's just amplified even further. And so he is here in this photo and with me and accessible and available. And that development and relationship has helped me go into training with the Akashic Records, which is the history of our soul, which is the ability to understand our life lessons from the higher dimensions from a larger perspective in a very clear, very directive, very healing way that assists us in moving through what has been blocking us, to really understand what that is and to be able to work with it and move through it and be able to continue to bring out what is most needed for ourselves, the things that we are born with that are calling to us, but that we've had trouble being with, that we may have dreamed possible. Maybe like one of my clients said, well, feeling joy and excitement has been like a pipe dream for a number of years. And now she is like feeling excited and passionate and joyful. And it's amazing, beautiful to witness and be
Wow.
part of that journey to help hold that.
Right. So you have an incredible group, it sounds like, of your multidimensional clients. And in the program, is Ibis is one of the teachers in the program, like a co-teacher?
He is, and I love it that you asked if he's a co-teacher because it is. He is. He often has direct messages for people in the group that are very specific, and he is one of the spiritual beings that's helped me create and develop what we're doing in this program. And then there's part of what is so beautiful is helping people connect with who it is that is in their life for them from the spiritual realms and becoming familiar with that.
Okay, so finding their own kind of council of connection and reconnection with the different
Yes.
realms.
Yes, because like Ibis is one of a number of who've called themselves the One Heart Council. And so it's comprised of various spiritual beings. And so I want people to be able to, and what they have said is the call is for each person to find who that is for themselves.
Wow.
And to become familiar with that connection and communications, really, and become adept at accessing that for themselves, for looking at what's been stopping you, looking at how to move forward, what those steps are, and it becomes very co-creative. It's an interactive, very engaged process.
Wow. So especially at this time of on the planet where we have this social distancing kind of going on, it seems like learning to connect to yourself and learning to connect to those helpers that may be around you that you just don't have access to right now is such a beautiful thing.
It is. And because we are all multidimensional selves, we don't necessarily think of ourselves that way, but we are souls inhabiting and learning in this vehicle, this body, this vessel. And so that contact and connection, the more we can deepen and open and access this is part of us. the more supported and the more connected we will feel, even though physically in relation with people, we're not as able to have that same level of contact. Although fortunately we have these wonderful technologies like Zoom that we can see each other, be with people from around the world, be with your neighbors, be with people in your community, with your family and your friends. It's um, thankfully we have this technology now, and that's part of what allows us this group to form, so that we can be from all over the country and really be in contact and connection with ourselves. But it's the spiritual, it's that connection with your, what I call your soul self. In one reading the other day, the phrase that was used, it's like collecting your soul strata, and which is another way of saying this is like soul retrievals. This is, there's many different elements. There's parts of yourself that for one reason or another got separated out to create safety for yourself. And now is the call to keep bringing all of your aspects back together, so that we're needed. We need the part that got afraid and that was traumatized and that has access to a particular type of resilience and strength. That bringing these parts of ourselves back in, creating the environment that's safe inside now is imperative.
Oh my
We
gosh.
need ourselves.
Yes. Yes, we need ourselves more than ever, and whole and complete. What I love about your work is that it is spiritual, it is energetic, it is part of other realms, but it's also on the dimensions of, speaking practically, of dimensions of thought, dimensions of emotion, dimensions of how you behave, how you show up in the world. It's just, it goes from every single dimension you could think of to create this new whole of who you want to be in the world and how you want to show up and the meaning that you want to make of whatever circumstances are going on. It's really beautiful. You've told me some incredible stories about some of your MD program participants. Can you share some of those?
Yeah, it's such a privilege and honor to be able to sit and be with people, to watch like one person going from ways that she had been really censoring herself, editing herself down to be a particular way, to and was invisible in that, and would feel very much less than others, and also had the death of a spouse, so it was very overwhelming, a lot of grief, and numb and stuck, and realized that this was an opportunity to create her life anew. And that desire is such a motivating force to move through, even to use what is going on literally as fuel to shift. And these are really different concepts. And what has been happening is she's finding an internal safety inside of herself. She is finding organically, she's able to express herself much more and more without fear, she says. That's so huge. And then she's able, because of that, she's letting herself be seen. She's becoming more and more visible. She's interacting with people that she's known for a really long time differently, she says, and that she's getting all kinds of comments about what is she doing? She's changing so much in the midst of this grieving process, because this is, I think, less than 6 months ago that her spouse died. And she is also, one of the things that she came into the program with is that she had felt lost and used to have a connection in the spiritual realms, but had felt lost and not able to make those connections anymore. And that has been opening again. So as all of these aspects are clearing and opening and moving and not letting herself stop because she was grieving, that is allowing for these reconnections with information, with healing energies, with messages. And we just did a session yesterday, and I was marveling at the clarity with which she is able to go in, sense energetically, feel and hear information, and sense and be able to put that right into use in the moment.
Wow.
Yeah, it's profound.
One of my favorite things about her story is that you said that she found this inner safety. She created this inner space of safety within herself, which is something that I think really the whole world could use right now, the ability to create that. And the fact of the matter is, it is available to everyone.
Yes.
And what I think is extraordinary about this time is that we have an opportunity. We've been given the gift of time in a crazy roundabout way by having to kind of stay at home and social distance, and the global, restaurants are closed, all kinds of entertainment. We've been given this gift of time, and there's going to be some people who use it to have more fear, have more anxiety, and kind of distract themselves from what's happening. And then we have other people like you and I and your clients and seekers, light workers, who are like, okay, you know what? Something huge is happening in the world, and this is my time to step up and really figure out what my purpose is, and really step into that larger potential that's always been inside of me, but I haven't actually stepped into. And your clients are doing that. And you've got this amazing container that you've created to birth people into this new version of themselves, which I think is just so beautiful that you're leading the way on this at such a incredible time. Can you share, how can people find out if this is right for them, or if they would want to be part of the multidimensional program that you're doing right now? I also love that you do different levels, like thought level, behavior level, but you also do Akashic records, energetic things. You also do creativity, which is so amazing. I love that. And how can somebody who is right now finding that they want to step into that potential self that they've always known was available, but they haven't known how to get there, how can they find out more about it?
So people can email me, and Sandy at onehearthealingcenter.com, and that's spelled out ONE, onehearthealingcenter.com, and request what I'm calling both a before and after vision consult, so that we can talk. It's complimentary, specifically about looking at coming into this program, so that we can look at where things are currently, what's happening for you, what are those biggest struggles, where have you felt like it's been difficult to move through and move forward, and what those dreams, what those desires are, what that calling is. A lot of people come to me saying, I know that there's more than this, but I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm not sure what the form is yet. I don't know how to bring that out, or I don't know how, like, I have all these interests, but I don't know all of how that could work together. And especially right now, when everything is going online, there's many people who have tremendous skills, but that are just sitting at home because they don't know that they don't have the dots connected about how that can get utilized. and how important it is to bring that forward now, not even waiting for another 3 months. And so those are the things that we talk about and look at how this program could be of use for you. And yeah.
Something that I love that I've heard you talk about is that people who have had these before and after vision sessions with you have said that just this session alone feels like winning the lottery, just because
I
of the
know.
clarity that they got.
I know. Like somebody registered for the program and said, I feel like I just won the lottery.
I
And
love
that person is, it's so beautiful to watch and be part of this. There was so much self-doubt and so much of a sense of comparison with others. And the question, like, where do I even fit? Like, I feel so different. You know, she's been studying animal communication for quite a long time. And in the programs that she had been in, she would get what she now calls out of the box information that was from a soul level, that wasn't just about the day-to-day personality. She'd get that information, but she would get much more than that, and she would be shot down. She would be reprimanded in a pretty big way, it sounds like, really discredited and criticized overtly, directly. And so her confidence level with what she was doing was really, really down. It's to her credit and to her soul's calling that she persevered and then sought me out. And one of the questions, so her confidence level was way down. And one of the questions that she started with is, where is my sparkle? Where is my fire? I think it's around, but I can't find it. And so you can imagine when you're being shut down for, she's very gifted, you know, with these amazing capacity for connection with the spiritual and the divine and bringing messages through that are so touching and so beautiful.
Didn't she start like painting incredible?
She did. So one of the things, she was artistic, and one of the things that she started doing when she came into the program was she started painting with watercolors. And what has happened is this blossoming of the connections of all these different parts of what wasn't coming through before, you know, which had been sort of stopped and started and stopped and started and reprimanded basically. And just this amazing, magnificent, creative, excuse me, beautiful, I mean, so magnificent artwork that brings through energies, it's creativity. And what happens when we have these connections with the spiritual realm, what's possible is we connect into the realm of infinite possibility. We connect into what we are born for. We connect into the ways in which we are meant to bring out whatever those gifts are, whatever is, it's like medicine for our own heart and soul. And that is exactly the medicine that's needed. And so what she is doing is helping people connect with animals who've passed over in very particular ways through these paintings that bring through actually the sparkle, like the beautiful essence of what this animal meant for this person, with like a very particular life lesson, contact, connection through the colors, through each brush stroke, wow, through the actual words in combination together. And she has said that that's where she said, like, I feel excitement and joy. Like, I look forward to the next one, where I can't wait to do the next one. And that started once she started exploring in this program and started getting, finding the safety in herself
Mhm.
and getting held in a supportive environment, right? Where I create a very safe space for people to be able to go in deeply, be vulnerable, and to be able to just be with what is, and develop trust and confidence in themselves and these connections, so that you can see what it is that needs to come forward for you.
Mm.
And it's deeply, deeply touching
That's so
and
beautiful.
so needed. I mean,
It
and
is.
satisfying for her, for
Right.
each person.
What I think it is so needed in the world, especially right now. It feels like this is a call for humanity to slow down, look at what's important, go inside. And this program is an opportunity for somebody who wants to live on purpose, fulfill their potential that they've always known was there, to be able to reconnect with themselves, reconnect with those energies that they've kind of always known were there, but haven't really known how to access. And just a really extraordinary program to be able to reclaim who you are, reconnect, and recreate yourself. And to me, it feels like the multidimensional coaching group is you're leading people to create a fire in their heart and in their soul. And each person that's in the program is able to affect somebody else in their life. And it's kind of like a little domino effect that you're creating in the world.
It's true. And there's two additional pieces that I wanted to bring out. One is about creativity. And Brené Brown has spoken about creativity is not a luxury. And I think in our culture, we've really thought about, oh, well, this creative stuff or this spiritual stuff is kind of like a luxury. But the reality is they're imperative. They're
Yes.
imperative parts of ourselves. And when I say creativity, it's not, you don't have to be a painter to have that creative movement through you. It is life force moving through you. It is the ability to open into the act of creating what is most needed. And so if you're a light worker, if you're a healer, it might be that opens and engages you into the form of that energy work that needs to come through you at that time. If you're a poet or a novelist or a writer, it's how that come through you, what it is that you're creating. If you're, uh, thing is working with nutrition with dogs, it's how that can best and most creatively come through you. It's it's it could look like painting, but it doesn't have to. And so it's not a luxury, it's an imperative.
Mhm.
And these tools, what I have seen with my clients and with this person that I was just describing, is when you have these connections, you can develop a resilience and a resourcefulness, and that's where innovation can come. And when I say innovation, it's in connection with that creative life force. It's what needs to come and be generated through you can then come through you in a way that is very, I keep saying connected, because that's what it is. It's connection with yourself. It's connection with the larger uh, part of ourselves, and it's connection with each other, so that we can be in contact more meaningful, help
Right.
cultivate the meaning of what's most important for you and each other in your life. And I think that's one of the things that's really been coming out of this time, where we are needing to stay at home. And it's like, what is meaningful for you? Like, that question has become mainstream. It's
Yes.
not a luxury,
Right.
it's an imperative.
Yes. It's an imperative. So thank you so much. I am so excited to see who is going to sign up for the consults, the before and after vision conversations, and become part of your incredible program. What you're doing in the world is so needed right now.
Mm. Thank you so much. And to those of you who feel that imperative, who just come email me, Sandy at onehearthealingcenter.com, and I look forward to supporting you on this journey.
Yeah, there has never been a better time to go inside and become who you've always known that you could be. Thank you.
Thank you.